Camry, should come on camera. We're about to get started. I started to recognize that being 16, well, not 16 at the time, but 14 at the time, and doing smoothies like no other young woman was doing it at the time. Like, and it was different. It attracted a lot of people to me, a lot of good resources.
You know, that was my approach to combine knowledge and design. So, you know, and I grew a lot in the process. I learned a lot about myself, and, you know, I had to find my voice creatively.
That was the essence and sort of how I got into that entrepreneurship thing. It came out of necessity, right? At that point in time, it came out of hitting that glass ceiling, which I think is so applicable to today as people are going through COVID and all of that, you know, to really figure out how to pivot and shift.
I think for the very beginning, I was just wanting to know the title that I wanted to have next to my name. So for me, my mom had two areas of focus. One was education, the other was ownership. And I think she saw it in her grandfather. He was a landowner in Mississippi, on a very turbulent time, but he owned real estate. And I think he had a certain sort of commitment to his community as an owner. He didn't feel like a victim. And I think when I was growing up, there was always this aspiration to obviously own a home, but really to have more impact on creating owners in the community.
When people who want to start like a business, one, you have to focus on not wavering because of what somebody else's thoughts are. It's sticking to what you know, especially your mission, because once you get off, it's very hard to get that going.
You have to find what you love, something that sparks your interest. And I know for me, it was owning my own business, running my own business, because there's no amount, like you can't overstate the importance of that sort of security of knowing that you are responsible for it. Now, don't get me wrong, it's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying too, because you are responsible for yourself and your business.
I didn't even know I was an entrepreneur. Let's start with that. I didn't start off to be an entrepreneur. I started off, you know, trying to get extra money to take care of my kids. And so that's kind of how my entrepreneurial journey started. It was about how I had done everything that the world told me I was supposed to do. I had gone to college, I had gotten degrees, I had a good government job, you know, I had a good government job, benefits and all of that good stuff. And I just still wasn't making enough to keep my family.
I got into real estate, actually, it was totally unplanned, and it really was as a response to gentrification that I was experiencing in my community.
For me, it was always a dream. Like I always, you know, growing up, I just like, I had to start a business. I wanted to start a business. I didn't even know what kind of business I wanted to start, but it kind of, you know, I was always working in kitchens.
A lot of people who own their own businesses, you know, they sort of feel like, oh, they could do what they want, you know, that they can, and you can have your own, you know, set your own hours or come late if you want. But the reality of it is you still need a schedule. You still need to perform. You still need to be on time. You still need to do, you know, so I would say it's mostly that, like making sure like on days that you may want to not go to work, you have to go to, like it's very much similar to the jobs that I have. No, take it off. You can take off. I'm here for the self-care. I've definitely been teaching that, but the first 2-3 years, you might want to think that because the paycheck is really gonna, you know, it's feeding.
I love Waverly and I love the things that we know that can happen in this community. And I know what this community needs. And I sought out the Greymount Earth because I know what Greymount needed and they needed a book.
To be honest, it wasn't really in my plan. When I went to law school, I was set on working at a big law firm coming out. And so that's how I started my career, working at the world's largest law firm at the time. And so that was my dream job. But once I got there, I mean, I had a pretty good experience, but I was unfulfilled there and ended up leaving, not really knowing what my next direction was. And then I had this epiphany that I very much still love the law, still love what I did, but I wanted to help small and emerging businesses protect their brand.
Well, that was I was had tears in my eyes. Well, welcome to the 50th episode of Entrepreneurship Matters. It has been a journey. We are starting our third season of Entrepreneurship Matters, and it is an honor and a pleasure to be at this point. We started over 50 weeks ago at the urging of a young entrepreneur herself, Camry Moses, who is the owner of KR Smoothie, to think about how could we tell the inspiring stories of entrepreneurs in our community and spur our own purchasing with those businesses in support of those entrepreneurs and those businesses. And we have had an amazing ride. We know that successful businesses, successful entrepreneurs are not built in a day. It takes undiluted passion, multiple failures, and a lot of hard work to make it happen. Today is no different. And today we have two companies that are all in the beverage business. So we are gonna do a little drinking during this Entrepreneurship Matters. Don't worry, it's Sprite in there. Let me introduce Ezra Kane with Kane Collective and Nayaka Bilal with Serenity Wine Cafe. Let me introduce both of them, and we're going to launch right into our conversation this afternoon. So let me start with Ezra. Ezra is a beverage entrepreneur and event curator, has spent more than a decade cultivating hospitality experiences for people around the world. At an early age, he discovered his love for food. Man, we have something in common, and beverages, growing up in Brooklyn, New York, and later affectionately calling Baltimore, Maryland his home. As the co-founder of Kane Collective, he is an industry go-to for training and education, as well as developing and creative, innovative spirit experiences. He has passion to tell, his passion is to tell stories of brands through glass and connect people to luxury service. And you can keep up with him at Kane Collective regularly on Fox 45 Baltimore and online at Kane Collective. Welcome, Ezra. It's so much a pleasure to have you on today.
Hi, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here for your 50th episode of your third season. So super excited, and I'm just excited.
Excellent. And Nayaka Bilal, she's coming on screen. Nayaka was born and raised in Howard County. She graduated from the Coppin State University with a bachelor's degree in liberal arts. And after working in the food industry with Pizza Hut, she decided to go into business for herself. So it is a pleasure to have you on, Nayaka, for this 50th episode. I can't wait to get right into this conversation.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So let me get right into it and ask the question of what inspired you. Oh, let me tell folks, you can participate in this conversation like all of our episodes. You can comment on Facebook, you can put questions or comments in the chat in Zoom, or you may text your questions in or comments 22333 and type JHUWL in the message line. Let me go first to you, Nayaka. Let me ask you, what inspired you to become an entrepreneur? To go out, leave Pizza Hut and go out for yourself with Serenity Wine Bar?
So when I started the journey, I feel like, I don't know that I really thought that this was going to happen, but I just knew that I felt like I had kind of reached my limit at Pizza Hut. Like I had accomplished all my goals there and everything. And then the company just kind of took some changes and I just knew I wasn't happy anymore. So I just really just started looking on my own and saying, oh, what if I could do this on my own and do this and this? And I just started putting pieces together. And the next thing I knew, it was like the grand opening. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm really doing this. Yeah.
That's I think, a lot of entrepreneurs start within a corporation and then say, this doesn't satisfy me, and make that shift. So I know many people are feeling, similarities between your journey and theirs. How about you, Ezra? How did you had a love for food and beverage, so that many people have the same love, but what made you twist that love into entrepreneurship?
Really, I just wanted more. I was working for an organization. It was a good organization. I wanted to grow. and there was a position that I wanted, and because I felt like that position would lead me to my next step in my career. And what ended up happening is that I there was someone else that was a peer that was in that position that I wanted, and it was either I was going to go through them or I was going to move to a different location or a different venue. And I chose just to be a good team member and supportive in the role. So I said, well, I still have my goals, I still have my dreams, things that I want. So then I just kind of well, I'll just build it on my own. And I literally said, I want to do these number of things. And I found my business partner and we created Kane.
All right, so you make it sound so easy, but I know it wasn't easy starting your business. Both of you make it sound easy, but let's take us back on what did you have to do from you now have an idea, a vision, a passion for going out on your own with a business partner or on your own. How did you go from that idea to now having a business and a product? I do have Kane Collectives advertising for them.
Thank you.
Get another bottle for it. But how did you go from an idea to creating that business? What were your steps? Ezra.
Oh, okay. So I'm a big believer in iterate and do. You know, it was literally I had a passion for rum, and kind of take it back. The product we kind of just fell into. It was just an evolution, an opportunity when COVID kind of folded my entire industry that I was in, that I was kind of building up and leading. That I was kind of like dedicating, my professional career and path to. But it really started off with I had a passion for rum. I thought more people should know about rum. I'm excited about it. And it's like I want to produce events and get partnerships with brands. So I literally just saw a need and tried to nail it. And I was like, all right, well, who can I partner with that wants that need fulfilled? And what can I offer them? And then I started putting together offerings that I thought that person that had the need would be interested in. And I just started by connecting the dots. So really, you can call it a hustle like a lot of us have. We like things, maybe we're good at it, whether it's candles, and we think candles are amazing, or we have something, we make like wood engravings and on a CNC machine, which I always wanted to be like a woodworker. I thought that was really cool. And it was really just kind of having a passion for something and trying to find out who would be interested in that passion. And then who can I partner with to get the resources to make that happen? It was literally solving a problem.
Yeah. No, I mean, you made three really good points. One, you had to love the product and you knew the product. Two, you found who would be aligned with you in helping you to create the product. And three, you understood the market, right? And so you started to see who would purchase or who would be interested in that product. I think excellent points. How about you, Nick? How did you go from step by step starting Serenity Wine Bar?
So I think at first it was just a lot of talking to people. And then, I literally I bought books on how to start a business. I did a business plan. I would, searching for money everywhere I could, looking for location. And kind of once I got a location down, from there, it was just, all those steps that you have to go through, getting permits and liquor license and all that kind of stuff. And then, just slowly every piece started to come together. And then, here we are, so.
Absolutely. So you talked about a couple of things. One, you researched, you talked with other folks, you understood what it took to have the mechanics of the infrastructure of the business. And then you sort of went full throttle in, right? You started investing in really understanding the business from being in the business and doing the business. Excellent points. Now, this question has come up a number of times in the chat already, which is what pushed you to take the leap, right? What was the moment that you said, I'm going to strike it out on my own? Was there a pivotal moment when you knew, I don't want to work for someone else, I want to work for myself and build for myself? Neka, do you have I see you looking, and you may have that moment thought of in your mind. You may remember it.
I guess my moment would have been like when I was, working for Pizza Hut, and we were in a small company. So we were Pizza Hut of Maryland. So it was a smaller franchise. And they sold the franchise. And then so everything changed and it became big corporate. And I was like, I don't like this. I don't like the feel of it. I just, I don't like any aspect of it anymore. And it just didn't make me happy. So, that's when I really just thought, I've been making pizzas for 23 years. I can kind of make pizzas on my own, and so that's when I really thought, like, let's really try to do this.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. How about you, Ezra? What is there a pivotal moment, critical moment?
Yeah.
Said you want to start out on your own?
Yeah. So I always figured I could do two things at once. And I was working 40 hours in one job, and then 20, 30, 40, 45 hours in another one. And then at that point in time, it was I can either focus on one thing and grow it, or I can give myself a heart attack. And I didn't really start to learn, and I'm still learning, work-life balance, until like it really kind of came to that, where it's like you hear all these things about, sleep when you're dead, and, no one's, you got to do it because no one's going to be first to get there and last to leave. And a lot of those are true. But the first one, the whole sleep where you're dead, and this romanticism of literally doing things and not understanding the value of systems, and kind of like phasing, I would say, processes in when starting up a business. I feel like that's like not something that's really shared enough. So I just figured I would just work as hard for myself, and try to at least have a little bit of a balance.
Yeah. No, and I think what you just said was so helpful, because you're talking about you could keep working 85 hours a week and have a heart attack, or you can figure out how to develop systems to help to create what you wanted, your own business. Let's take us to a question really on, both of you are in a social business, right? It's undergirded in people being social, and in that vein. So talk to us a little bit about networking as an entrepreneur. We had this question come in a couple of times. How do you network? How do you market your business? How do you get people interested in your business, in your brand? So Neka, tell us, how do you get people into Serenity Wine Cafe? How do you think about networking and marketing?
I feel like social media is the best thing. I can literally post something on social media and somebody down the street comes and was like, I just saw that you posted this, and people just come out. And then every time, like when we get people in here, they just bring stuff to me, and then we just start working together and market that way. We've done like paid advertising, but I just feel like that doesn't reach people the way just posting on like Facebook and Instagram does. Unfortunately, I kind of have to do it like every single day, to keep people in, but it really does bring people out.
Yeah, no, I think the free of social media, that organic like crowdsourcing can't be underestimated. I think that's very helpful. How about you, Ezra? How do you think about marketing and networking as an entrepreneur?
We were fortunate in that we were in a social space, in a social business, and my business partners and we had decent amount of interactions with folks before we launched, because we started off being service-based, because through the pandemic, we pivoted to being primarily product-based. So we had a decent network, and like my partner for today, Naika, said, social media has really been very gracious. It's allowed us to share a story a lot further, a lot faster than it ever would have been, even years before.
And as you think about the growth of your businesses, both of your businesses over time, and even during the pandemic, how did the pandemic impact your business and even impact your marketing? We've received that question a few times. Has COVID made any shifts in your business or how you've thought about it? I'll start with you, Ezra.
Yeah, it literally shifted our entire business model. So we had a dream about doing ready to drink beverages and cocktails. And it was always, tomorrow, whenever we were very focused on the brand work, we had a clear model about, how do we get more folks to enjoy these different things from around the world. And after that all died, we figured that people would still want to drink at home. And it started off as a fundraiser. We did it for the Baltimore Restaurant Relief Fund. And we're like, all right, we'll sell these cocktail mixers and we'll donate proceeds to the this group. And then I was sit on the board of the Bar Guild, and it was the same thing. And then we started doing them as a fundraiser, and then we're like, 1 bottle, 2 bottles, a case, 2 cases, 3 cases. And it really turned out to be that it was maybe this is a business and not just something that an activity or something that we do. And then we kind of grew and scale it. Had the pandemic happened, were we not forced to sit down and to reevaluate what we were doing and to think, we probably wouldn't have a product line. We would have done consulting, we'd have still been in the business, still would have been profitable. But this whole product line that we have, it would probably still been sitting on a shelf somewhere because we were forced to change and we were forced to sit down and to evolve and to think. And this is a product of it.
It's such a positive reflection upon what good came out of the pandemic, of being able to sit and reflect and think about your business in a completely different way. I always say the innovation came out of the pandemic. If you weren't innovating during the pandemic, you missed an opportunity because it really was an opportunity to grow. How about you, Nika? How did the pandemic impact your business, and how did you innovate or think through that as you were going through the last 18 months or so?
So we were open for about 9 months before we got shut down because of the pandemic. So that was hard, not being able to have people inside. So then, we just kind of really had to change up the menu and come up with new food items all the time because it was carry out. And then of course, Black Lives Matter became very big and everybody started, pushing Black-owned businesses. And then we really got our name out there. So by the time we were able to start opening up, people knew about us and they just came out of the woodwork and supported us. And then of course, we were able to do a couple of TV things with We're Open Baltimore. And we had got a grant through Jimmy's Seafood. So I had a little TV publicity, but I feel like during the pandemic, everybody really kind of heard our name somehow on social media. So really got that support once we started to open back up a little bit. So it was good.
Yeah, that's amazing. Both of you utilize this time to elevate your brands, but also just to really think about how could you be position yourself for the long term during the pandemic and beyond. Let me ask you this. You both accomplished quite a bit, significant. You're in the store, Nayaka. I'm sitting here with Cane Collective, your mixer. I don't even drink alcohol. I'm sitting here with a mixer. But what's your greatest accomplishment? What would you say is your greatest accomplishment as a business owner? Ezra, what would you say? This makes me proud of what I've done.
Wow, what a question. I would say the business accomplishment that we have is the opportunity to take an idea and to really have something that we can take to a national level, a national reach. I would have never have thought, I've really thought about services. I've always liked the idea of products. I never really thought through how products work. And that opportunity, I would say, is one of the things I'm most excited about.
Yeah, how about you, Nick? It's a huge accomplishment. I mean, to think about national
Well,
brand.
it's an opportunity, right? It's an
Yeah.
opportunity for something. And so I didn't want to put the cart before the horse, so to say. But yeah, Nick, I'm so excited about your place. I want to hear yours.
I don't know, but what I will say is what surprises me the most and that I love is that I can be out and like I'm at a wine festival or, I was at the pharmacy and somebody, I start a conversation with somebody and they're like, oh my gosh, my mother's been there. She loves the place. Or I've been there and I absolutely love the place. And like, that just makes me like smile inside that, I'm out there and people know about me, outside of coming here. So.
Absolutely. Now, this question has come up a number of different times. We know that you have not achieved success without on your own. So how have you thought about building your team? And how do you think about partnerships? Are you, a number of entrepreneurs are trying to build their team, trying to think about partnerships? What are the characteristics you look for in a partner or in a team member that you're going to bring on to be a part of something that you created? So Nneka, what are you looking for in your teammates and your partners as you think about bringing them into the business?
Well, I've been lucky because of all of my years. I know a lot of people in the industry. So when I started out, like I kind of recruited a lot of them, the people that I've trusted and worked with for years. We've hired outside a little bit. But of course, we're in the food industry, so you have to have somebody with a great personality, who's a people person, just always bright and happy and kind of, ready to go. And we've been very fortunate to find a lot of great servers here. So, we've been very lucky.
Yeah, no, it's a blessing. How about you, Ezra? You talked about your business partner. And many of us know him, but you also have a team with you. So how do you think about growing, how did you look for a partner and also think about your team?
Well, I have two business partners, and I think that's part of why we've been successful, is that we've always believed in a team, and we've always been able to attract other people that had a similar vision for what we were going to do. So like Nneka, knew a lot of folks in the food and beverage business. And we were fortunate enough to know people that felt like had the same kind of sort of ethos that we had, that were personable, that generally liked people, that could get excited about products. And we just kind of went from there. And the best thing I could say in terms of team building is that getting people to buy into you, your vision, and the vision of what's going to happen. I would say that's like the key thing. And then everything else you could kind of follow from there, because you could train up, you can develop folks and you can give them skills and processes and such. But what's really hard is to align yourself with someone that doesn't want to be aligned with your brand or your vision or what you do. And I find that challenging.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Nneka, how have you thought about your business partners and your and thinking through? I got knocked off. I don't know if y'all saw something try to take me out of here, but I came back strong. You already have you had it built in because you're in the industry, all of your team, and thinking about your team as you go along. Is that pretty?
Yes, I don't necessarily have like a business partner like Ezra does, but I've had people that I can kind of bounce stuff off of and will work together and help me. And then I'm meeting like outside people. So, and we've been partnering to do events, we've done sip and paints and wine tastings and karaoke and just a bunch of things. So I have small partnerships in that way, yes, but I just kind of meet those people on a whim. They come into the bar and they're like, hey, can I pitch something to you? And then, we do something and it works out great, so.
Absolutely. Now, let me ask you this, and this has come up a number of different times. How can individuals, like ordinary residents, be supportive of your businesses? But how could, I think we do have Oprah on for the 50th episode. I'm sure that they might bring her on camera if she's here, but how could someone from Oprah to Alicia, ordinary citizen, how can we be supportive of businesses like yours? How can we make sure that more businesses like yours are able to thrive in our community? Ezra, how about you?
I saw something online on Instagram, and it said it was referring to small businesses, and it was talking about how a person can go to a large organization hundreds of times, have multiple terrible experiences, and still go back to the organization. Timing can be bad for a small business. You can have one experience that wasn't stellar, and then all of a sudden that's indicative of everything that small business has to offer. I would say, treat your small businesses like you would treat anyone else. Support them, spend your dollars with them, share their stories. If you have a good experience, tell them about it, and just be reasonable.
Mm-hmm. It's a really good lesson, because you're right. You go into a large business, they don't give you your food hot enough, or you go in and it's not on time. You're like, I'm still going back. I'm still going back. That was just a bad day. It's a bad day. Small business, you're like, that is reflective of a lack of, you know what I mean? So you have to give grace that you would give to small businesses, the same as the owner. How about you? What would you say? Nick?
That's very true. Like I have a lot of local people that will come and buy wine from me instead of going to a big liquor store. So, anything helps us. I know during the pandemic, just like a lot of people have just done grants and just kind of helping small businesses get, money just to survive a little bit longer. So that's been wonderful. I had a wine that it was on Oprah's list, and then I had it in, and everybody wanted to come in and buy it because it was on, one of her favorites. So, just any way you can support.
Absolutely. Now, this is a question that's come up a couple of times, and I guess someone's receiving feedback from their family and friends. How did your family and friends respond to your decision to become an entrepreneur? I ask this every week, but this must be the same person. Some people like, you gave up your benefits and your other to go into business for yourself. So tell us a little bit about how your family and friends responded to your decision to become an entrepreneur. Ezra, how did they respond to your decision?
Well, I've always done entrepreneurial things. I've always had a second job. I've always had a project. And most of them make it like, hey, you're going to get that government job yet? Are you going to get, those benefits package? What about stability? And while they had a valued point of view, sometimes you just have to just do it and not necessarily ignore those family members and friends. But sometimes you just need to surround yourself with other folks that are in your space that can give you feedback, but that's constructive about what you're about to do, and help you figure out what the viability is, what that transition period looks like. So you just quit your job. Can you ramp into that? Sometimes you just need to adjust your support circle.
it's a great advice of like, how do you get that support circle that helps you to stage and phase, ramp into, think about those. Excellent advice. Nika, how would you say, what was the response?
I don't want to talk about my family. I'm sure
No, never mind. They're watching. Never mind. And they've been giving nice
Mama,
shout
I love you.
I love you. It's right.
Yeah, it was mixed. Like, some people thought the idea was a little crazy. And then some people were just kind of worried about my stability, you know. Of course, yes, giving up my benefits and that steady paycheck and everything like that. But I feel like once they really started seeing it come together, now they're just very supportive. It was like, I guess, shocked that I'm doing it. But yeah, I mean, now they're very, very supportive. In the beginning, it was hard conversations, but now it's really good.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, and they love you. So I wasn't trying to get them to tell on y'all, family or friends. This question has come in a few times regarding how do you keep going? We know that you probably had challenges as business owners, multiple failures. As you talked about it being an iterative process, but what keeps you going in those moments when you could give up? How do you keep going?
If this question is for me, I probably have an unhealthy mechanism or two to kind of keep me going in terms of like mental frameworks. I just don't want to fail. And that doesn't mean that, you know, sometimes there's not a strategic decision to be made about if something's working or not. But I just don't want to fail. And knowing that even though you have a great team, no one's going to do it if you don't do it. So it's really thinking about, is this something that's, you know, how reasonable is the challenge, you know, that you're looking at? Is there anything you can do? What can you do? Have you exhausted every opportunity, every resource? Have you really kind of critically looked at it before you say, hey, we're going to strategically fold? Or is it just a lot? Or is it just, you just need to find that sixth gear to kind of like really push through?
Absolutely. And Nika, how about you? How do you keep going?
I feel like you need a good support system, even if it's just, you know, to cry on somebody and get it out. But I mean, you know that this is your baby, you got to keep going. So, I mean, that's what I do. And for me, I was like, there was no plan B when I was putting this together. So, you know, I didn't have anything to fall back on, or if this doesn't work, what's going to happen? So my thing is like, I have to make it work any way possible.
Now, have either any of the technical assistance programs like 10KSB or any of the other programs that are geared towards business owners like yourself?
I just finished the Made in Baltimore program, or coming towards the end of that. I thought that was a wonderful program that was put together. I have not explored any of these other programs that you're mentioning, and I would like to.
Don't worry, we'll get you in. I have some connections. We'll get you in the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program.
We'll take all those connections and appreciate that. But yeah, that would be great. That's the one that we did.
How about you, Nika? Have you gone through any of those programs?
I have not, but I would love to.
All right, don't worry. We're going to make sure you get signed up. We're going to make sure you get into those programs.
All right.
Absolutely. We have a couple other questions that keep coming in. So I'm going to make sure I get to all of them before we do the recap video. Can you remember a specific interest that reassured you that this was worth it? How about you, Ezra? Specific note?
I think really early on when we got some of those signals that the orders kept coming in. And again, So our background was that we did events and we did elaborate, elegant cocktails, and we were really good at doing them on volume. And we knew that we can make things taste amazing. We knew we were really good flavors, and we knew we could push out some stuff. But when the orders kind of kept coming in and people were supportive and looked like the market just really responded to us, it was a good signal. It's like, wow, we really maybe have something. It's not necessarily idea, something we should kind of develop and flesh out. And we've kind of listened to those signals. Also, Nika mentioned something earlier, which I didn't want to discount. There was a massive switch and people and their intention and the way they buy and what they looked for. And we were fortunate enough that folks wanted to support people of color, and people that they might have just, it's like, oh, I'll get to it. When I get a chance, I'll pick that up in the store on my next trip, instead of pushing it down the line or maybe getting there, actually getting there sooner and getting a chance to experience what we had to offer. And we were very fortunate in that. So it was just really timing and people responding well to what we did.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. There was a complete shift. And that, I think that was a reassurance for a lot of entrepreneurs, like you just said. How about you, Nika? What was there a moment when you said, this is all worth it?
I don't know if there was an exact moment. I just know how I felt the very first day that we opened the doors. And, our first night we had a private event, a birthday party. So just standing there, like looking at everybody, just having a good time. And I was like, okay, this is, what I've worked hard for and sweated and cried over for the last, year. So I guess that was it.
Yeah. And so in thinking about that moment, and I hope you bottled that up somewhere, you put it on the shelf or took a journal and wrote down those feelings. What's next for your businesses? I feel like there's a lot on the horizon for both of your businesses. What's next, Ezra? What's next for King Collective?
Just really refining our manufacturing process, being able to, share great drinks and glasses a little bit further than we have been so far. So really just kind of doing that, honing in and just refining our processes and, systems, and that's it pretty much.
Mm-hmm. How are you, Nick? What would you say is next for Serenity Wine Cafe?
I don't want to get ahead of myself just yet, but we still would like to grow. This is only our second year, so
huge accomplishment.
Maybe partnering with Ezra and using some of his mixes to make some good drinks.
I highly recommend this sweet potato. It's very good.
Okay. Eventually, maybe a few years down the road, we would do Serenity 2.0, but we're of course not there yet. So
yeah. Let me ask this last question, then we're gonna make sure everyone knows how to purchase from you and buy from you and support you and follow you. But knowing all that you know now, what advice would you give yourself about starting your business? Now go back in time. You get to advise Ezra 1.0 with King Collective. What advice would you have given yourself?
Start sooner. Things that we want to do, ideas that we had. If I could tell myself to do it all over again, I would say start sooner. And again, think about the ramp up. I didn't necessarily have to quit my job sooner or anything like that, but just really taking an idea and just putting it in motion to bring it to fruition. There's a lot of things that we want to do that we're seeing come down the marketplace now that take about 2 years for development. Like, we were thinking about that. We could have did that. We're fortunate. We have our hands full of what we have right now. But I would have just said that, trust my intuition, Don't be such a nervous Nelly.
Yeah, be a risk taker. No, I get it. Nanka, what would you say? What advice would you give to your former self?
I feel like maybe, even though I did research, maybe I should have done a little bit more. At one point, I just got so excited and I just kept going, and I probably should have took a breath and a step back and, figured out, was that the best move to make? Because I learned some very hard lessons along the way, costly lessons, so maybe if I wouldn't have rushed some of that, I wouldn't have made those mistakes. But of course, every mistake is a learning lesson. So I definitely learned a lot.
No, absolutely. Let me let everyone know. First of all, it's been an honor to get to interview both of you. And it's been an honor to have you included in our first 100 entrepreneurs that we featured on Entrepreneurship Matters. You two are doing amazing things. I want to make sure everyone knows, from Oprah, who's watching, I know she's watching, and to folks, common folks just like Alicia, how can we get in contact with you? How can we support your businesses? How can we make sure that we're uplifting you and being a part of your social media network? So Ezra, how can we get in contact with you and support you?
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for having us on. You can reach us, you can find us online at canecollective.com, CaneCollective.com. You can find us on Instagram at Cane_collective. And my personal Instagram, if you have a question or starting out or you had an idea and just kind of want someone just to like get a cup of coffee with, Allen, ALLEN.EZRA. That's my personal Instagram, and feel free to drop me a line or a chat.
Excellent. How about you, Nick? How can we get in contact with you?
So our website is serenitywinecafe.com. And then I believe on Facebook and Instagram, it's the same. Just type in Serenity Wine Cafe. People can come down and see us. We're in Locust Point, or, if some people are still learning about coming out. So, we do Grubhub, we're on Slice, so if you just want to order from us and, wait to come in, that's fine as well.
Excellent. And Ezra, we can buy yours under the bridge?
Yes, under the bridge. So we're at most of the local farmers markets. You can find us at the Fells Point Farmers Market or Catonsville every other week, at Waverly and under the bridge, JFX, under 83 downtown. You can find us there too. A couple other markets a little bit further out, but you can find all that stuff online. And feel free to reach us online or just message us, and we're pretty responsive to that too.
Excellent. So you are our 99th and 100th entrepreneurs that we featured, but we featured 98 before you, and we're going to show a video to recap season 2. So we're going to turn off our cameras, and the tech team and the amazing team behind us, they're going to show us a video recap.
We need platforms like this to be discovered. And that's not just for me, that's I speak for everybody who is silent and who doesn't get an opportunity to be here, because I dreamed of stuff like this. I never thought that I would even be in business, almost 16 years later, because they say the average small business fails in 5 years. I tripled that.
I always knew I was going to be an entrepreneur. I started my first business at 25. So I was self-employed at 25. I was a daycare provider, and that gave me my reason for serving God, family, and community. And that's why I'm here today, to serve. And I do it well.
A lot of people know people that run a business, and so just support them. It's like, and that's it's super important, because it's like the longer this goes on, what's there going to be to go to when it's said and done. So support the people that you can while they're in business, so that they can stay in business to ride this out.
I love what I do. And that's just like the end of it. It doesn't matter to me that I'm here all these hours. I really just love what I do. And what keeps me grounded is in nursing, I had a very great career in nursing, great career. And I chose to leave it for this.
In my career, my 40th year career as being a full-time artist, the one thing that I never heard people say together was two things: artist and business, and artist and spirit. And we've been miseducated about what all of that stuff means. And so being able to decode that over the years and understand that we as image makers have a responsibility.
What really inspired me to be an entrepreneur, I would say, because first it was just my passion, but I really didn't look into as being an entrepreneur at first. But my dad would always instill in me to be free.
But very early on, I heard somebody say that you can either spend your life making somebody else's dreams come true, or you can spend your life making your own dreams come true. And that's what I latched onto and made me want to become an entrepreneur. I just really have big dreams, and I wanted to see them enter fruition or die trying to make them happen. So that's what really inspired me to become an entrepreneur. I just love every aspect of it, and I definitely want to share what I feel are my talents with the world.
So if you have a talent and you can, help advise or be on board of directors or what have you, that's like my trajectory right now. And where I've seen thousands and thousands of patients over 33 years. At what point am I now making a difference is how I'm viewing that. But if you're not in the room, you have nothing to say.
I feel like at this point in my life, nobody in my life is buying candles from like a non-small business, or if they are, they're hiding it. Like they're
early on in life that I had that entrepreneur spirit. I was always thinking of a way how I could make my own money. Started out first as a newspaper, delivering newspapers, and then I started selling like hot dogs and French fries to some of my neighbors, and realized I could make my own money. So that made me realize I never wanted to work for someone else. I always wanted to be my own boss. So I would say it started out pretty early in life for me.
I'm here for my community.
Yeah.
I'm going to allow whatever resources to keep me here, I'm going to allow it to come through, even if it doesn't make any sense to me. So being able to get out of my own way and acknowledge, I'm still scared. I've been an entrepreneur for nearly 2 decades, and I still have moments of, but for anyone out there that's listening and they want to do it or you're doing it, that if your mission is to serve with your whole heart, whatever you need will flow in. Let it come in.
Hello. So I'm going to ask Alicia to come back on screen. Now it's time to celebrate. Hello, everyone. My name is Audrey Johnson, and I'm Director of Economic Innovation and Strategy. Before I invite our special guest to provide remarks, I want to invite the amazing planning and production team who handles all the details of this webinar series to join us on screen. Give us a wave, let the people see who you are. They are responsible for the research, the coordination, and all the details that go into pulling this work off. As we celebrate 50 episodes, today we are lifting 100 businesses in our community for their strength and their resilience, especially over the past year. Your journeys are inspiring and you have encouraged so many. I know a lot of you are watching on Facebook, and so we just want to say thank you. And my final thank you is to Alicia Wilson for her passion and commitment to community. On behalf of the team, I'll say it's a treat to work with you doing this important and impactful work. On that note, we do have special guests who want to share in this celebration. So I want to make sure I make room for them. Let's see. I am going to ask that President Daniels joins us. Thank you for coming on today. Unmute yourself and.
So I'm unmuted, but for some reason I can't get my video going.
Try now. I'm new at this technical. I have all these folks, our interns, they put me in charge. I don't know why, but you should be able to come on camera now.
I'm trying, let's see.
Yay, yep.
Run!
So I'm
Zoom
bombing. Hello all, it's great to see you and to be part of this moment of celebration. Alicia, as you well know, I can't say enough about Johns Hopkins being a place that is not just in, but truly of Baltimore. And there is no one who more thoroughly embodies that belief than you. As a Baltimore born and bred leader, you understand and you exemplify the entrepreneurial spirit here. So I can think of no better host to create and build this platform for entrepreneurs and community members that raise awareness of how interconnected we all are in the work we do and the opportunities we all have in creating for and with each other. We know, of course, that small businesses are truly the lifeblood of our communities. Among the many inequities that this past year of COVID has exposed is the economic fragility being borne unduly by marginalized communities where small business and those they serve have been particularly hard hit. Yet when small businesses are given resources to stay afloat, the owners benefit, but also the community benefits. Small businesses offer job opportunities, tax revenue, and resources for residents, and their success is clearly and inexorably tied to the overall well-being of the community. So when they thrive, our communities thrive, and so does our city as a whole. So my prop. So to Alicia and our communities and your team, and to the entrepreneurs who have used this platform to tell their stories, share their work, and make human the reality, the challenge, and also the joy of launching and sustaining a business. Thank you. Alicia, this platform can change the trajectory of these businesses. And to Baltimore's entrepreneurs, your work helping put Baltimore on a trajectory of strength and success. So to you all, bravo, congratulations. I toast you all. Hear, hear.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. We know there's lots that you could be doing right now. So it means a lot to us, as well as all of those that are watching. Our second guest is Camry Moses, a student who we worked with last summer and suggested this forum, an event for uplifting entrepreneurs and just hearing about their journeys. And a year later, here we are celebrating 50 episodes. Cam, please join us on screen.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Cam with Camry Moses. I coming on here to give my remarks for why I felt like it was important for there even to be an Entrepreneurship Matters. I feel that Entrepreneurship Matters was so important to me because it allowed us, like small business owners, because I am a small business owner myself of KR Smoothies and Quarantine Delights, to just share our knowledge. Like, older and younger entrepreneurs have different experiences, and I feel like we can all learn from each other experiences. Experiences oftentimes are the biggest teacher. And if I can hear from other entrepreneurs some of the hardships they have went through, or even the great things, it'll allow me to be prepared more often when I get more into my entrepreneurship journey, because we've had entrepreneurs with all different types of experiences, some that have restaurants or some that have like big chains and different things like that. But I'm not quite there yet. So any tips that they can offer, I know that I will utilize when I do get to that stage in my entrepreneurship journey. Tying into that, I feel like that it is extremely important for this to continue on, and especially for businesses like mine, Chaos Smoothies and Quarantine Delights, because like I said, it teaches us all about different experiences and allows us to keep doing things that we probably didn't think we could do at first. Like I know on the opening question, thinking about like hardships and things like that, like we don't necessarily believe that we can do all the things that we have accomplished. However, we do get through those hardships and we do accomplish the things that we hope to. So I hope that Entrepreneurship Matters has hundreds of episodes even after this 50th. And cheers to that.
Well, thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you so much, Cam, for being a part of today's celebration. If it wasn't for you, we would not be here. So at this time, I am going to pass it to Alicia to give us another host. Toast. We'll probably toast a couple of times, but go ahead, Alicia, it's over to you.
So I just want to say thank you. Y'all surprised me. I did not know that President Daniels Brown was coming on. I couldn't have imagined y'all would get the superstar Cam to come on camera. But this has been a true delight and a labor of love. Let me just say a couple of things that I think are reflected in this journey that we've been on. One, great things come out of Baltimore, and great things are within Baltimore. And I think this all started, and I give credit always to Cam for being a young person working on our team and coming up with a brilliant idea of how might we uplift and add value to our community. And so Cam, I just give you huge kudos for coming up with the idea, and more importantly, sitting on our team like a leader, like any other executive, sitting in Hopkins and having just the ability to foresee. I think Ron allows for me to be wildly creative and allows for me to innovate. And I always say Ron's heart and my heart are old friends because we love this community so greatly. And I think I'm grateful for the freedom to dream and to dream alongside folks like Camry and the amazing team that's reflected on this screen. This would not happen ever without Audrey, Jackie, Shanice, Keon, Ritza, Wesley, Ariel, being the force behind this work. They spend so much time really thinking about how can we as an institution uplift our community and uplift our businesses. And last but certainly not least, the businesses that we feature inspire me daily. I'm working at Johns Hopkins. I will be here for countless years, but every time I come on Thursday, y'all give me a little bit itch to start my own business in some way or fashion, because you.
Okay, wait.
I'm not leaving. Just a second. I'm not leaving.
This was a really good 50 show. It was great. It's over. Stop encouraging her.
Never leaving. But
how about you? A wholly owned subsidiary of Johns Hopkins, if you can do something entrepreneurial in.
This is one of them. This is my entrepreneurial experiment. I get to be an entrepreneur with Entrepreneurship Matters, but truly you all are the backbone of our community. And I feel privileged that we've been able to incorporate you in our supply chain. We've been able to work with you in our businesses. So again, just thank you for being who you are, employing people in our community and standing as really the bedrock of our community. And so again, just thank you, salute you all. I ran out of drink, so we don't have any more Sprite. I have a little bit more Sprite to drink too. But thank you all, amazing team. And here's to another 100 episodes of Entrepreneurship Matters.
Wonderful. So wait, we got one more surprise.
I knew it.
They wish they could have been here in person, but they sent us a video. So I have one more surprise.
Peace, everyone. It's Mayor Brandon Scott. I'm thrilled to congratulate Alicia Wilson on the 50th episode of Johns Hopkins University's Entrepreneurship Matters webinar series. This series cultivates conversation with local, up-and-coming, and established entrepreneurs that have shared their journey. Thus far, the series has reached a milestone of featuring 100 entrepreneurs from the Baltimore and DC area. I'm proud to work with Alicia on initiatives like this to expand Hopkins' commitment to the city of Baltimore through investments in economic and neighborhood development. I want to thank the Entrepreneurship Matters sponsors, Johns Hopkins University of Medicine, Hopkins Local, the Mayor's Office of Small, Minority, and Women Businesses, and the Warnock Foundation, as well as the Entrepreneurship Matters partners, Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses, and Bloomberg Philanthropies for making this possible. Alicia truly embodies what it means to be a public servant, and we appreciate her hard work and dedication on behalf of all of Baltimore. So with that, I raise a glass and say again, congratulations, Alicia, on the 50th episode.